Welcome back to the Senior Living Show. I'm Vicki Rogers, and I'm here with Scott Neal, who is the president of D. Scott Neal Incorporated and founder of Caregivers Circle. Welcome back.
Well, thank you, Vicki.
We're going to talk today about leaving a legacy, but you don't mean a financial legacy this time. We're talking about a non-financial legacy that folks want to leave as they move on, right? So tell us about that.
Well, the idea of legacy has largely been hijacked, I think, by the financial planning community and the legal profession. When people do come in and talk with me, and I bring up the word legacy, they're usually thinking about that financial legacy that they're going to leave, the inheritance. But it goes so far beyond that, I think, the non-financial versus the financial legacy.
Okay, non-financial legacy means what?
Well, think of it like this. The greatest body of knowledge in human history is going extinct. You may not realize that, but every time someone dies and has failed to leave their story with the next generation, that human history is going with them.
You're right.
Yeah. So I want to bring about an awareness of what that means.
So you mean that folks need to put their stories down in writing or make some sort of a document to achieve this, yes?
Well, the non-financial legacy is the passing on of values, its stories, its life lessons. It's all of those kinds of things, and it can be in the form of a document, or it can be an audio recording, or it can be a video recording. Nowadays, we've got video everywhere, so that makes some sense.
And so what's the best way for folks to get started in doing
Well,
this?
I think it's an autobiography or a spiritual autobiography or a memoir, if you will. I encourage people to be a coach for their loved one. I encourage them to, when they go to visit grandpa or dad for that matter, that they turn on the recorder and start asking open-ended questions. And, if you ask an elder about their story, they'll just be dismissive. They'll say, "Oh, we don't have a story." What story? I don't have a story. But it really boils down to the consequences of failing to do this. It just can't be overstated. It's huge. And so we encourage people to start recording and start asking open-ended questions like, "Grandpa, tell me about the time that you met Grandma," or "Dad, tell me about what it was like to be a teenager when you were growing up." I had one client who came in and told us about an amazing story that happened to him just after World War II. And I said, "Do your children know this?" And he said, "No, they're not interested in this stuff."
Aww.
And it was just sad. Yes.
Yeah, I know.
So we turn on the recorder, we get all these things recorded, and then we find a way to preserve them for future generations. Let me ask you a question. Would you like to know about your great-grandfather?
Yes.
You had 8 great-grandparents. And wouldn't it be wonderful if we had those stories for us today?
Yes.
Well, now think ahead to your great-grandchildren. They'll be there someday. And so what it would be like to leave that story for them.
And I think one of the most important things that you can do that I have done is take those old videotapes, if you have them, and have them digitalized. Yep. That's one way to start. But then moving forward, how do you recommend that folks save these? Digital, right?
It's called the cloud.
Yes. Yeah.
But you have to remember to make sure that someone else knows your password to get to them.
That's a good point. That's a good point. How can folks get more information about what you do?
Come join us at caregivercircle.com. We talk about things like this.
We'll be back in just a few minutes.